Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday morning trading room. I apologize for the delay. I was having a little technical difficulty this morning. But everything seems to be working now. All right, so here we are. Yesterday's session, a little bit of a pretty decent rally actually. Never did get that major pullback during the session. The rest of the session just kind of went sideways, which is typical. We got the pullback through the overnight, and now we're opening with a gap above the market. So prices leaving off yesterday around the 58.80 point and opening this morning around 58.50. So we've got about a 30-point gap in there. It'd be interesting to see if the market tries to fill that this morning. It's still early. We're only a couple of minutes into the day. So we'll let them sort things out here on the Falcon. It looks like the Falcon's working on giving us a possible trend change signal. The Raptor also testing or retesting the low. This would be what we would refer to as a test of the extreme. And if the market rallied from here, this could actually be an early buying opportunity. As the market searches for direction, we have a defined overnight trend, so it is possible to see the market try to reverse that this morning. So that's, I think, what would be my first plan of action. Of course, if we break through the lows here, all bets are off. Oh, there it is. I'm just going to pop in with a buy order there. So here's my number 2 signal. It didn't print as a number 2 signal, but it is a number 2 signal. Pardon me. This is why it's important for you to be able to recognize these signals independent of the signal prompts. Why did you not get a signal prompt here? You say, well, I have a feeling that the distance between the tests of the extreme was maybe a couple of bars too many to actually fit the Raptor programming. Now, you can adjust the sensitivity of the Raptor, and I will show you how to do that after this trade. Come on, get up there. There we go. So I just hit the buy market button because the signal developed rather quickly. Didn't give me a chance to use my normal tools down here, but the setup would have been the same. I would have set it up pretty much as you see here. Okay, so we hit the first profit target. Okay, I just made a few notes here in my trading journal. As you can see, taking a little bit of a reaction here off of the hard edge, which is our target for this counter trend trade. Now I'm trying to hold on here a little bit to see whether they try to get into that gap, maybe even get up here to the median line at 58.67. A major retrace would be all the way back here to the primary resistance line at 58.82. So now the reaction to the hard edge, and if I can hang on through this swing, I think there's a good chance I'll get to 58.67. Francisco says we've got a signal on the Eagle. Let's go take a look. Yes, we do. It's not what I would consider that first in sync signal of the day, however. This was actually the first in sync signal, even though it hasn't worked out, at least not yet. Right? A trade's success is always a function of its profit objective and its stop loss. So many of, when Stephanie was still with Indicator Warehouse and we were working on these tools, she would say, well, this signal failed. And I said, why do you say that? She said, well, it reversed up. Well, where did you have your stop loss? Oh, I had my stop loss right here. Well, yeah, if you had your stop loss right above that bar, then the signal failed. But what if you put your stop loss up here? The signal hasn't failed yet. So we are in trend mode according to Trade Forecaster. Yeah, they slipped back a little bit too much there. Okay, well, they're wandering a little bit. Now the eagle getting a lot more bearish with this green bar sell signal off the hard edge. That would be another signal that is in sync. Now, when I say a signal is in sync, I mean it is in sync with the trading band. It's not always necessarily going to be in sync with the ATR. Keith says his trade forecaster is saying we are in swing mode. There's only one adjustment with the trade forecaster, and that is your open time. You need to set it for your native time zone. So you see this read 6:30 a.m. That would be for the Pacific Coast. I think the default is Central Time. I think the default is 8:30. So if you're not on Central Time, you'll need to make that adjustment, and that should square things up. Here we come now with a hard edge sell. This could be considered a double pullback as well. And we get a chance at a second push entry. We're getting quite a few signals here this morning. Okay. Well, we're kind of moving away from that now. And coming back now with another number 2 signal. So do I get a chance at a second push? Or what do I do if I hurry? The Geiger counter getting a little bit more bullish. You see we're getting some buying go through the market here, which is making me think maybe, just maybe, we're going to see an uptick here. All right, I'm going to extend my profit objective, and I'll roll my break even a little bit as well. Okay, we're working a possible early cloud crossover here now on the Raptor. Let's see what the other tools are giving us. Okay, here on the Hawk there was a red bar buy. Came back with a first micro macro cross signal, the Falcon also giving us our trend change signal slash late filter entry about the same time that this counter trend signal was printing. So this counter trend signal here is just another number two signal. It's a number two signal that didn't print because, well, I guess we're too far from the test of the extreme, but the concept is the same, where you're looking at a market that is potentially changing direction. So the market tried to come down, buyers bought it up, tried to come down again, couldn't do it, came back, and it produced a buy signal. Now, yes, it's risky, but that's trading. You pays your nickels, you takes your chances, as they say. And right now we're just kind of trading punches here. The buyers put in a little bit of a rally. The sellers try to knock them back. The buyers rally it up again. The sellers try to knock them back. And I think the key here is, well, for our position or my position, that the buyers keep pushing harder than what the sellers do. Yeah, look at that. David says I installed a pivots indicator on my chart. That's with NinjaTrader. The reversal was right at the pivot at 58.59.5. You know, pivots are one of those things. When they say pivots, they usually refer to what traders call floor pivots, and they're easy to calculate. I won't bore you with the calculations here. You can find them online. It's just a combination of the high, low, and close, and then you add it to the high, yesterday's high or yesterday's close. So many traders use floor pivots. It makes you wonder, does the market really turn there because of the pivot price? Or does it turn there because so many traders threw in sell orders at that pivot number? I don't know. Same thing with Fibonacci retracements. Fib traders love to point out all the times that Fibonacci retracements work. Does it work that way because it's a natural occurrence that happens even in trading? Or does it work that way because so many traders use it that they tend to focus on those levels? Personally, I think it's more the latter. I think a lot of traders, for instance here, a lot of traders that think the market is bullish, they would gladly buy at half the price. So for easy math, we'll say the high of the morning is 58.60, the low is 58.40. if the market retraced to 58.50, that would encourage the buyers who bought 58.40 to try to buy again. That would encourage the buyers who missed out to buy, on the leg up. They would consider 58.50 a bargain. They wouldn't want to miss out again. There's always that fear of missing out that drives a lot of traders. And the same thing can happen, as prices get higher. We're going to have all these traders who shorted at 58.80, yesterday's highs or yesterday's close, and they're going to say, oh, wow, the market's all the way back up to 58.70. Let's sell some more, and so on and so forth. All right, give me one more push. Give me one more push, and I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive with my stops. There we go. If it fails at this point, well, I'll take the break-even tag. Otherwise, I'm going to get ultra aggressive with my stops. Come on. A lot of sensitivity around the 58.60 area. It's going to be a number we want to keep in mind. Yesterday there was a lot of activity around 58.40 as well, if you remember. Come on. No, get away from there. I should probably just go to 58.65. No, don't need to worry about it. They tagged me. Well, that's okay. Still took some profit out of the deal. just wanted to point out this wave here on the Geiger counter. It reinforces what we're seeing here on the chart, namely that the buyers and sellers are just taking their turns, their kick at the cat. So a selling spike goes through and then a buying wave, and now here comes another selling spike. That may or may not reverse the market. Right now, things, well, moderately bullish. Oh, right you are, David. David says 58.63 was the low from a couple of days ago. That could be causing a little bit of friction for the buyers. Yes, Keith. Keith said you were going to show us how to adjust the sensitivity of the number 2 signal. All right, so you're going to right-click on your chart, go to your indicator window. Here you're going to find your Raptor version 2.0. And when you pull down about halfway, you're going to find the things that you can adjust. So first, there's the brick sizes and the cloud sizes, so you can play with those. And then the signal parameters SE. SE standing for soft edge, that's the number 2 signal. The default setting is 1.01. I find that a little bit restrictive. So I've dialed mine up to 1.25. The higher this value, the less sensitive the signal becomes. In other words, the higher this value, the more number 2 signals you will print. So let's say I'll just go nuts here and I'll make it 5. Oh, well, I printed a couple more. You see we got number 2 signals here, 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 and here. Didn't get that one yet, probably because the clouds were crossed. And the minimum retest bar setup, this is the inverse. The lower this value is, the less sensitive your number 2 signal will be. So let's, again, I'll go to an extreme. I'll set it at number 1, just so you can see what it does. No, didn't show any new ones there. Introduced a bunch of new ones up here. But that's how you control the sensitivity of it. You can go to your indicator window, find your Raptor, and then find signal parameters SE. Like I said, I find 1.25 to be a reasonable setting. But the Raptor 2.0 is far more tweakable than the other DTS tools, and that was part of the design package with that. People were requesting ways to make it more customizable, so there you go. There you have it. But by and large, with that exception, I stay pretty much with the default parameters. Every day I get emails from people saying, what are your settings for crude oil? What are your settings for gold? What are your settings for this, that, and the other thing? And I should actually just make it a form letter. I always use the default settings. The only major market that is the exception to that rule is the E-mini S&P. If I use the E-mini on the default settings, my chart would look like this. These would be my day break lines. I would not have enough going on during the day to actually be able to trade. Now, if I want to treat it as an end of day tool, and I want to enter, say, off this number 2 signal, throw my stops below the low and ignore the trade for 2 or 3 days, then that's fine. But if you're going to day trade, well, obviously you can't day trade like that. So the E-mini is the only only major market that I recommend that the alternate settings of 4, 4, and 6. So you're going to have a 4-tick chart. You're going to have a 4 and 6 tick cloud, and you're going to have a 4-tick hawk. Okay, things getting a little bit more active here now. Working a trend change signal here on the Falcon. Oh, I guess we got the trend change signal here. It didn't trip. Came back, we're working another possible trend change. A lot of yellow bars in the hawk here this morning. That's kind of messing things up. All right. So here's the number 1 signal, the cloud crossover signal. I don't know if they're going to give me another chance to get in on that, stinkers. I was just about to point that out to everybody when it ran away on me. That was, of course, coinciding with this Falcon signal. No, shoot. I was going to try a limit order, see if they let me in with a limit, but they're not going to. There they go. See ya. They're probably going to come back down here, try to retest the lows. And from there, they may choose to bounce again. Okay, so we're working another cloud crossover signal. This one here developed very, very fast. What are my other tools doing? Well, things still looking kind of bearish. Oh, darn it, and they ran away on me again. Okay, so I can see them getting back down here to the 41.42 area. And that, of course, where we saw the market rally from this morning. Okay, the hawk already into a macro pullback position. So the hawk still bearish. The falcon's starting to turn over a little bit. We're into the lows of the day, which I admit makes me a little bit nervous, because this is often where we see a failure and a reversal, right? So we look for the test of the extreme, the retest of the low, this low right here, and then a buy signal to develop. We may yet get that rally. Well, what a tug-o-war. Yeah, here comes the falcon now with that late filter entry signal. Yikes. Do I just hop on? Getting a bit of a pushback, so there's a chance for a second push entry, but I'll admit that this is a tough trade. And we'll go back here now to the Raptor, which is also producing a similar signal right here. And what I'd be looking for here on the Raptor is now that number 2 signal to develop, if in fact the buyers can manage to hold on to the lows. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure the sellers are going to take out the low. There's also a 4-arrow consolidation here on the hawk. There's the soft edge buy. All right, so we've got, gonna pop in with a buy order. I'm gonna cancel my sell order. Make sure I hit the right buttons. So this is one of these trades that, well, you're going to take your chance because there's no clear indication, there's no clear trend. You pick a side and hopefully the trade follows through. But this is why it's so important to use your risk parameters to control your risk. Come on, you got to give me a couple of ticks here. Oh, thanks, Paul. Paul says 58.44 is the 58% or the 50% retracement from yesterday's high and low. Well, there you go. See, the fib traders were right again. I may try to give this one a little bit more room and run with the parabolics. And then if the trade seems like it's going to take out the high of the day or maybe even fill the opening range gap, I'll move to a more aggressive stop strategy. It's got some room to move here, though. Like I said, the high of the morning, 58.62. After that, we're back to the median line, 58.67. That would be a very healthy move. And after that, it's going to be a bit of a stretch, but we may see the primary resistance at 58.82 and a quarter. That would put us back at or near yesterday's highs. That's why I said that could be a little bit out of reach today. But to fill the gap, I think we're somewhere, would be looking somewhere around 58.73, 74, 75, somewhere in there. That would also be a very significant move. In fact, what I will do is I will set a stop, an order at, let's go, we don't want to be greedy here, let's go 58.73. I'm swinging for the fences here. Well, David, you made your first pivot. David says my first pivot, 58.58 half. So I just made that. Parabolic's rolling my stops up maybe a little too aggressively for my intended profit objective at 58.73, but I'll let it play out however it works. Something like the ATR strategy might do a little bit better to hold me back. Where's Ray Burke when I need him? Need Ray to do his push. No, they're going to tap me here. Unless the buyers step up in a hurry. Okay, well, that's all right too. Alrighty, put that one back on the shelf. Well, not a bad morning. Kind of grinding it out, but we're doing okay. Oh, I got an itchy hand. I'm going to be getting money. Woohoo! Yes, Jeff, thank you for the reminder. Crude inventory today. And here's the crude market. I'm actually a little bit bearish on crude in spite of this little bit of an uptick that you see here. For those of you that read my nightly report from my support and resistance site, I'm a little bit on the bearish side. Nice thing about crude inventory is that we can bracket the trade, right? We look at an OCO type order, try to take advantage of the fast moving market on the breakout of the inventory report, which tends to be pretty volatile. I'm going to give them a couple of minutes still before I set up. I would like very much for them to retrace back here to the median line, and then I could just bracket the primary resistance and the primary support. I really don't want to get too bullish on it. Now, they may fool me and make a big rally up. But like I said, I'm a little bit more bearish on crude right now. You can see that crude oil's opening range very, very tight from 47.66 to 47.83. Don't even have a 20-point spread or a 20-cent spread in crude oil. That's crazy. Well, I know where I'd like to short. I'd like to short below the low of the morning. I don't know where I'd like to buy. They keep pushing up a little bit. I may have to forego the OCO order and just set an order to short. And again, this is purely my personal bias. Crude oil may well make a monster rally out of the report, but I'm going to set up here to short. I'm going to short the low of the day, and I'm going to use a stop limit order. And I'm going to limit my slippage to only 2 ticks. I'm going to short a tick below there, and I will, well, I guess if I'm going to use the swing, don't know if I want to go in with 3 contracts. We'll go above the high, and I'll give myself 30 ticks. Ooh. Okay. From down here, that's going to be too much, so I'll give myself 20. Oh, I better hurry. They're starting to get a little bit active here. All right, I've got a... Here, we'll go back with plan A. I'm going to keep goofing around here until I miss the trade entirely. No, can't do that. All right, can I cover it there? There, that's what I'll do. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go with my bar high-low strategy. I'm just looking to short. The market has retraced back to the median line, so you could buy a break of the primary resistance. You could sell a break either of the low of the morning or the primary support. This is a little bit of a nail biter, folks. And here we go in another minute. The Geiger counter is going to start going a little nuts. You see there was a huge selling spike right here. Now the buyer's trying to lean into it. Oh, I should have deleted my profit objective. It's too late now. I'm not going to worry about it. The report's going to come out here any second. All right, here we go. Ready, set, go. Ooh. There's the push higher. If you wanted to run an OCO order now, you know where to place the buy order above. That would be right there. Sell order would still stay below the low of the morning, I think. All right, here we go. Hang on to your hats. Oh, I could delete my profit target and my break even, and I'm going to have to hold my stops here for a second. Roll them back right there. Actually, I'm going to roll them above the primary. So now, if you're going to do the post-report bracket trade, we have a clear area to buy above and a clear area to sell below. It's rare, you know, that the market will make moves and never give you a second chance to get in. That's an important thing to remember. You don't want to get this whole fear of missing out thing I've been hearing so much about lately. People finally gave it a name. I'm sure you've heard the FOMO expression. So we're pinched between the primary resistance and the median line, or the low of the day, however you want to view it. Oh, come on. If I can get another move lower, I will get a little bit more aggressive with my stops. Right now, this is the best placement for my stops, so I'm not liking that swing. Not liking it at all. Come on, push lower. Nope. So a nice little bounce here off of the median line is going to give me some grief and tag me out. Stinkers. And there's your crude inventory report, a little bit more active than usual. You can see now we're getting a cloud crossover signal as well. And that one just a little bit out of reach for the current parameters. Can I cover it there? Very atypical for crude to be this sideways. That's not like crude oil at all. All right, boys and girls, we'll put that one back on the shelf. Got ourselves a little bit of a sideways mess here in the NASDAQ. Yeah, Paul says the NASDAQ moved right along with crude. There does tend to be, or there used to be, a pretty good relationship between crude oil and the Dow. If you saw crude oil prices heading higher, you could be pretty sure the Dow would have an uptick. So I had a couple signals here, a good chance at a macro pullback scalp. We actually just printed a late filter entry here in the Falcon. The Raptor also trying to produce a cloud crossover signal. Hasn't engaged the signal yet, but it's sitting there waiting for you. I don't know. See, we just had a number 2 signal print right here. We're continue to be struggling with the lows. The market's getting a little bit more of an upslope than a downslope to it. I think overall today the day's been kind of sideways, so might see another attempt to push prices up. All right, here we go. This would be another number two signal, kind of a drawn out number two signal, but a number two signal all the same. You can kind of view this as a great big test of the extreme. And I've been making money on the buy side, so I'm perhaps a little bit more bullish than bearish at the moment. Boy, what a struggle we got going this morning. It really is two-sided trading here. And there's my buy signal. Do I have? Okay, I'll just buy it. There we go. So bought it. Like I said, it's a rather drawn out test of the extreme. So here's my retest. You can see it had a mini retest here. And so I'm going to try to buy it up. That's the plan. We'll see in a moment how that works out for me. I've been buying more or less the same price level all day, all morning. It seems like I'm rewriting the same numbers all the time. Darn it. So close. So, making the same notes in my journal again. Auto break-even tag. Better than a loss. Better than a loss by a long shot. If the market's going to continue higher here, of course, we're going to produce our cloud crossover signal. The hawk getting a little bit more bullish right now. So there's a first micro macro cross. You can get on board with that. Oh, shoot, Eric, you wait too long. Okay, they're going to give me a second push. I can try to get on board here, cover here. Oh, and what I should do is I should go 50-50. essentially the same kind of trade that's going to develop here on the Raptor, the same signal that's going to develop here on the Falcon. The Eagle is a little conflicted. We do have a rule of 3. In the Eagle, we've had several rules of 3, one right here. So again, things looking a little bit, perhaps a little bit more bullish. Oh, they slipped me a tick. Stinkers. Okay, so hit the first profit target. Got a runner in. You know, that's a nice thing about scalping, of course. And then they tagged me at break even on the other one. Didn't even get a chance to make my journal entry. I still think there's going to be a bigger push here to the upside, but I keep getting tagged out at break even before I can get to it. And there they go, trickling a little bit higher. Oh well. That's trading. Oh, now we're getting another cloud crossover buy signal. Might be near the end of this leg, but there you go. We've got the proper cloud crossover. You got a chance at a second push entry opportunity. Can I cover it below there? Ooh, I can. We're kind of getting a little long in the tooth here this morning. As prices try to recover to the high. All right, let's see whether they pushed through. I'm not that keen on this signal given its proximity to this swing high and the high of the morning. I'd be just as happy if it pulled back a little bit here and I could cancel it. David asks, Eric, when I click buy or sell, I only get an entry and a break even, not a stop or targets. I only get that when I hit the set prices button. What am I doing wrong? Your trail indicator enabled is not on. If you have this turned on, you will get a stop loss order at your stop. Wherever you're, so let's say we're looking to buy. If I hit buy right now, I will get filled at the current price, and I will get a stop loss right down here, and I will get targets set up as per my strategy here. So if you have trail indicator disabled, you will get your entry and your break even, but you won't get a stop loss. Now you can always manually enter a stop loss just by right-clicking and selecting your stop loss order. Or you can select a stop strategy and hit your accept button, and that will also activate a stop loss order for you. But like I say, if it's not enabled, that won't happen. Okay, funny kind of morning right now. We are really, really jammed up. I don't do a lot of breakout trades, but you could pretty much bracket this range. You could sell below here, you could buy above here. Just let the market fill you. So to do that type of trade, you're going to use your OCO order. Now, when you use your OCO, you're not going to use this down here. Rather, you're going to right-click on your chart and then select your order to sell, and right-click on your chart, select your order to buy. Now, these orders are live the moment you put them on your chart, so you can drag them wherever you want them to be. That's a little bit too close. Oh, well, here, I'll show you how this works. I'll short 58.51, buy 58.59. Or maybe I won't show you how this works. I thought prices might have fallen off from here, but the buyers are doing their best to support the market. if you're going to continue trading this afternoon, I don't know. I think you're in for more of the same. It definitely seems to be a sideways sort of day. We still have that opening gap above the market, but that hasn't been filled. They've been unable to get up that high. All right, so they're going to fill my OCO here in a second, maybe. Oops, okay, here, we'll do that again. All right. Shoot, that's not what I wanted to show you. Doggone it. Sometimes with your OCO order, if you don't have your stops enabled, it will do just what you saw there. It will clear your order. I don't know why it does that. It has a tendency to. Just another reason to have your trail indicator enabled, not just for the sake of instituting a stop, but also to avoid that annoying auto flattening as soon as you get into a trade. And so just one more thing for the checklist before you take a trade. Make sure you've got your stops enabled. All right, gang. If anyone has any other questions, please type away. Otherwise, we're going to button up shop here for the morning. It's been a pretty good day so far. Like I said, you can anticipate probably more sideways trading for the remainder of the session. It just seems to be that kind of day. And sure enough, Trade Forecaster in full-on scalp mode for the better part of the next hour. Big surprise there. When you're in doubt, it's probably safest to short, but as we get back here toward the lows of the morning and the swing lows, don't be surprised if we see a little bit of a reaction. And I'm going to bring, if you're following this trade, I'm going to bring my stops into break even. I'm not going to allow the market to push back against this particular candle. All right, I will see you again tomorrow. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.